Happy Friday, everybody. We hope you had a wonderful week. Mr. Whitlock, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Murph. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. We won't talk about the Nuggets game last night, but how about that first game? First game was great for the Nuggets.
First game was awesome. First game was awesome. Yes.
All right, well, let's get rocking. We'll get everybody out of here on their Friday. It looks like a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. Make sure
Yeah,
you
happy
got your
Mother's Day
cards, your
weekend.
chocolates.
Yep.
Yep. Also, obviously, this week was around the Fed Powell had their meeting. They did not change rates at all. And just a couple thoughts on that. And the thinking is remember when they were late to raise rates? This was back in 2022, 3 years ago. Now the thinking is they're late to cut rates. In the Fed press conference, Fed Powell mentioned the word waiting 22 times. They are waiting to see what happens, waiting to see what's going on. But it's like he even said like the tariffs are inflationary. They could cause unemployment, but it's not in the data yet. And I'm like, and this is just me talking, but I'm like, I feel like once it's in the data, it's too late. It's like what harm does a 25 basis point cut right now do? I think it would have calmed the markets a little bit. And I've been a pretty good supporter of Powell over the last 3 or 4 years, but I just think they're behind again. So that was the
Well, and it
big.
sounds like they may not lower it in June either, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, my
Yep.
thinking is, oh, if they don't lower it in June, I think that'll be a big missed opportunity. So, and I don't know if it's political. I mean, you got the president calling him an idiot. I'm not sure that's helping, but he claims to be, independent, and that doesn't influence him. But who knows? So, anyways, the Fed meeting was the big news this week. No change there. I do have some local news. Trying to get better at our Fort Collins market here on the beginning. So I got some new numbers for April. I'm not going to go through all of them, but some of the ones that stood out to me the most were new listings up 21% year over year. So comparing April of 24 to April of 25, 21% more new listings. Days on market, thought this was kind of interesting too. That's up 26.4%. So you got more listings. They're staying on the market longer. I still think these agents are battling with these sellers and trying to figure out the right price. I mean, I know there's a house right around the corner from my house that they've already had a price cut of like 30 or 40 grand. I'm like, there's no way that thing's selling for that much. So I'm sure the realtors are battling with these sellers to figure out the right price. With all that being said, the median sales price in Fort Collins, dead flat year over year. Dead flat, 626,000. So those are some local numbers on the Fort Collins side of things. Um, and Joe, let me just share our lovely little graphic here. We go over rates. Oh,
Boom. There
you,
the rates are.
you you got them?
And I do. I got them. And before I bring up the rates, I had an agent last week make an offer, and we were competing against a cash offer, and the agent mentioned that only 48% of cash offers are making it to closing right now, where 90% of contingent and government loans are making it to closing.
That's
So
queries up.
although
Yeah.
sellers look at cash as king right now, cash is actually very finicky and will drop out with any inspection
I was
issues.
just going
So
to say, is the reasoning is the cash buyers are asking for too much? Like, hey, we want you to fix this, this, and this, and the sellers are like, no, and they're like, all right, we're walking. Is that the reasoning?
I think in general the cash buyer is getting a decent deal walking into it, and then they're beating them up on the inspection,
Okay.
where government and contingent buyers aren't in just in large terms aren't doing that as much.
Yeah. No, that makes
So
sense.
it's interesting. Yeah.
I know that was interesting. I remember when we heard that. Very interesting.
Okay, so 3% down, home ready, home possible. Again, first, or you don't have to necessarily be a first time home buyer, but you got to be under the 80% income limits. That's 6.375. If you're between 80 and 100% of the income limits, putting down 5%, you're at 6.5. 5 to 20% down, non first time home buyer over income limits, as you can see there with Chris, 6.625.
Hmm.
Um, the 15-year fix is at 5.75. And again, this is assuming good credit. FHA with 3.5% down is at 5.875. We have one investor that's very aggressive on FHA right now.
Yep, that's come down a
Uh,
little bit.
yeah, VA was 0% down, 6.125. Boy, I think that may be stuck there for 3 straight weeks. Um, Investment purchase with 20% down is at 7.375. But if you put down 25, you get a half point lower at 6.875. If you do a rate and term refinance, meaning you just want to lower the rate and payment, no cash out to 70% loan to value, you're at 6.5% today. If you're doing a cash out on a primary to 70% loan to value, you're at 675. If you want to go to 80%, it's a quarter higher. Same thing on cash out on investment. 70% is at 699. If you want to go to 75, it's a quarter higher.
Hmm.
And lastly, the jumbo loan with 20% down is about 6.875 today. That again hasn't moved in a couple weeks as well.
Nope.
Um, Happy National uh, Happy National Homefront Heroes Day. Couldn't even
Okay.
read my home writing.
Okay.
So, anybody who served, thank you. And also,
Yes.
Happy National Nurses Week.
Oh,
So, for all the nurses out there, thank you for everything you do.
love the
Um,
nurses.
Happy 76th birthday to Billy Joel.
Hey,
And
piano man.
that's right. Happy 30th birthday to Shabuzi.
All right, now I always get worried that we show our age sometimes, but the Shabuzi one we bring it back a little bit.
Billy Joe's 76, Shabuzi's 30. I figured we got the whole gamut there.
I like it.
And
I like, by the way,
and
he that one song everybody listens to. He's got some good. His album is actually really good,
he does.
Shabuzi.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
So
And happy, obviously the biggest one, happy Mother's Day weekend, all the mothers out there. Thank you so
absolutely,
much for being a huge part of everybody's life and our
being
life.
amazing.
So
So awesome. Well, Joe, have a great weekend, and we'll be back next Friday. Everybody have a wonderful Mother's Day, and we'll see you later.
you do the same. Be safe. Enjoy the weather. Thanks for watching. Take care.